Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to this video. Now, you already saw it on the thumbnail, though at this point right now, obviously I'm still recording this video. I have not yet created the thumbnail, but I think I know what I want to do with it. So you probably clicked on this video being like, okay, wait, Jennie from BLACKPINK, she recommended a book. What about that? Now, let's take it back a couple of paces. Let me explain to you how I got to know about this book. Now, to be really honest, I don't quite remember. I think it was on Monica Kim's channel that I somehow heard about it or saw this video in like the background or something. The thing is, I did not like watch a dedicated video about this book or anything like that, but I just saw it somewhere, and I think it was on Monica Kim's channel, or maybe it was on Bookstagram or something like that. I saw this cover, and solely because I recognized like the background and realized, of course, also with the title, that this was going to take place in Seoul, I decided to pick it up. I did this once before with this book, XOXO. By the way, guys, let's have a poll here. Which title is worse, XOXO or Seoulmates? Honestly, I'm having a hard time deciding that one. But yeah, this was the first time I picked up a romance book, even though that's really not my genre, simply because I saw on the cover that it was gonna take place in Seoul. And well, this time around, I kind of like decided to do the same thing. So I saw this and did a little research, and turns out this is actually the second part in a like romance duology by Jen Frederick. The first part being called Heart and Soul. And to be really honest, I still decided to pick up this one, like the second part, even though I haven't read the first part, because I like this cover better. Now, that's of course not how you should choose your books, like simply based on the cover, like even picking up the second, the third, whichever part in a series, simply because you like that cover better than the cover of the first part. Obviously, that's not how you should do these things, but honestly, I just decided I have enough faith in my intelligence that I will be able to cope with the events and like understand the events in the second part without having read the first part. I have this faith in myself and my intellectual abilities. Let's see if I prove myself wrong here in this video. So that's basically how I decided to pick up this second part, Seoulmates, because of the cover, not minding that it's the second part in a duology, whatever. And now you're probably thinking, okay, wait, what? So how was Jennie involved? The thing was, I had already ordered this, and then I watched, you know, Jennie from BLACKPINK, she has a YouTube channel, but she doesn't post on it very often. But like only a couple of days ago, she posted like an LA vlog, and I watched that video, and in that video, she goes to a bookstore, and in that bookstore, she picks up the first part, the heart and soul part. Like, there's a little clip of it right here. I have proof, so to say. She doesn't end up buying that book, but still, her even just looking at this book gives me enough reason to kind of like pretend like this is now a Jennie Kim from BLACKPINK book recommendation. And that's not necessarily clickbait. I mean, of course, it's a little bit of clickbait. I'm sorry. But let's be really honest, like with the K-pop world right here. If it ever happened that, for example, Namjoon from BTS was seen, or like there was a video of him like going through a bookstore, picking up a book and not even buying it, but being like, oh yeah, sounds interesting, putting it back, not buying it, you best believe, you know that this book would sell out within the next 15 seconds worldwide. I would put my heart, soul, and booty on the line for that statement to be true. You know that's how these things work. So Jennie, yes, only picking up this book in that one video, not really buying it, doesn't even matter that she didn't buy it, because she was seen next to the thing, and that already gives fans such as me reason enough to pick it up themselves. So that's basically the background of how I came to first know about this book, and then I also saw it like in one of Jennie's videos, and I kind of like made the connection. So here we go. The only other thing I want to kind of talk about before I head into like this actual reading vlog and like start telling you what this is about and stuff, it is really funny. Like, I looked up the author, and she has published a bunch of books. There's Heart and Soul and Seoulmates, and according to these two covers, you would guess that this is like one of your typical like just romance authors, right? But no, because if you look at all the other covers of the books that this author has published, first of all, you would think that these aren't actually published books because the covers are so bad. Plus, these all look like straight up smuts. Like, you tell me what these books are about. I'm waiting. So I just found it to be so funny, like the contrast between this book and Heart and Soul, and then all of these. So this author must be a real chameleon, as in like her writing skills or like the genres she writes in, because you cannot tell me that these aren't smuts, like straight up. I mean, look at the covers and at the title. Hey, I'm just thinking maybe this also bodes well for there being some smut in here. We'll see, I suppose. I'm gonna keep you updated on that one, because like you wouldn't suspect it from this cover that there would be any more sexy stuff involved apart from holding hands maybe, but we'll see. Okay, so as I already told you, I have not read the first book, but I have kind of read the synopsis, but not even the full synopsis, to be honest, of the first book. So apparently, I don't even know her name, but our female protagonist, she is ethnically Korean, but she was apparently adopted by like a white American couple. So she grew up in America with like her white family, adopted family, and that's her basically. And at the beginning of the first book, I think she has like some sort of identity crisis or whatever. Fact is, she goes to Seoul to kind of like figure out who she is. I think she also wants to find her birth mom, her Korean birth mom. So she goes to Korea, and obviously she meets like a cutie there and they fall in love, I suppose. And I also suppose they end up like they come together by the end of the book. But now there's a second part, right? It's a duology. So I guess, I mean, I presume there was a happy end at the end of the first book. It wasn't a real happy end after all, because there's gonna be some more conflict in this baby right here. But I haven't even read what this second part is about. I honestly only picked this up because I was like, hey, that cover, some cutesy, silly romance taking place in Seoul. I'm down for it. Let's give it a shot. So here we go. Let me start reading this and I'm gonna keep you updated what this is about and if there's actually gonna be some smut in here, because I know that's the only thing you're interested in. Okay, right off the bat, only like literally, I don't know, 3-4 pages into the book. So apparently our girl, she has found her mom in the first novel. I mean, that was pretty obvious, but apparently her mom is the CEO, and like the super rich CEO, obviously, of like this company, and she has given her a job in that company and is buying her designer clothes and all of that. So obviously her co-workers hate her because she's the daughter of the CEO and is like being super privileged, and she doesn't really deserve the job because she doesn't actually have the qualifications, but she got the job because she's the daughter of the CEO, you see. And now apparently the guy she fell in love with in the first book, and they came together as it seems, is an heir or part of like a chaebol family. And chaebol, those are like the super duper upper 1% freaking rich families in South Korea. So not only is her mom super rich, but now also like her boyfriend is super rich. So I guess there are gonna be a lot of rich people problems in this book. I don't know, but okay. Oh my god. Okay, so apparently her boyfriend is her stepbrother. She fell in love with who, I mean, I hope at first they didn't know that they were step siblings, and I suppose they became a couple, and then it turned out that he's like, okay, he must be like the son of the mother's husband, but like not her other child, because that would make them half siblings and that would like really be not okay for them to date. But what kind of plot is this already? She's dating her stepbrother, and like they're all part of this chaebol family. Okay. I had to laugh so hard right now when I read that, like, wait, what? She's dating her stepbrother? Okay. Let's go on. Plus, my favorite part about these, I mean, I've only read one other, like, romance that is set in Korea, blah, blah, blah. But my favorite part about these books are all the food descriptions. Oh, and they are so spot on. I'm already salivating because they're having lunch right now and you get like detailed descriptions of everything. But I'm here for it. That's like my favorite part about these books. Though I mean, her dating her stepbrother, that might be my favorite part about this book now, but we'll see. Oh yeah, and of course another inevitable part of these taking place in Korea silly kind of romances. It's like out of the two I've read, it was always a part of them. Obviously, she has some friends who are like famous superstars, K-pop idols, and the lot. obviously. Not only the Chapo family members, but you also got the K-pop idols. Okay guys, jumping in one final time to tell you my final thoughts on Seoulmates. I finished this 2 days ago, and what can I say? I really enjoyed it. It was a quick and easy and pleasant read. You really sped through it. It was that easy to read. The characters were quite likable. Of course, the plot is kind of silly, her dating her stepbrother and all of that, but I mean, it didn't really matter. I liked the pretty Seoul and the Korean food descriptions in here. And yeah, overall, it was just a fun and good time. So if you're looking for like romance taking place in Seoul, having kind of like these Korean vibes to it, this is definitely a book I can recommend to you. I can recommend you this more than the other book I read, the XOXO one, because at least to me, I like this one better because our protagonist here is 25. All of the other characters in this book are also like in their mid-20s or even in their early 30s. And I just like that content more these days, I suppose, or like in general. I've just kind of grown out of my YA or like books taking place in like high school phase, just because I'm not in that stage anymore. And so I've kind of like moved on from that, even like books content wise. And the other book, the XOXO one, that does take place in like a art high school, and it's about our protagonists. They are going to the same boarding school as like these K-pop idols, blah blah blah. So just like setting wise, as in like age of our protagonist, I like this one better. And I think also like overall, I like this one better. I am actually quite glad I picked up the second part and not the first part, because first of all, you have no problem understanding whatsoever what's going on. That's not an issue. Plus, obviously you can guess what happened in the first book from what the situation is like in the second book. And so this her getting together with her stepbrother, that I kind of got to skip this kind of like whiny back and forth part prior their relationship, like does he like me, like I like him, or does he not like me, blah blah blah. I'm kind of glad I got to skip that part because that part always annoys me. So here, of course, we start off with like the basis, they're already together and she already has like her set group of friends, etc. And I suppose that's what actually really happens in like the first book, her trying to make friends, her trying to come together with this other guy and then finding out he's her stepbrother, blah blah blah. But I'm actually glad I got to like skip that. And this book now is mainly about like the struggles they're facing because they're dating, but they also step siblings and their mom. Most of their friends and families and like society in general is against that kind of relationship. So that's what this book is mainly about. But like overall, despite the plot of course being kind of, I don't know, stupid maybe, I enjoyed it. It was quick and fun and nice to read. So Jenny, thank you for the recommendation. I really enjoyed it, and I can really recommend you this book if you're looking for like something silly, lighthearted, romancy taking place in Seoul. Oh my god, one more thing. Obviously, you want to know if there were any smut scenes in here, right? So there are a couple of sex scenes in here, and they are per se kind of like more detailed or more graphic than I suppose your average sex scene in a romance book, though it always depends, obviously. But they were still quite short, like only like a paragraph or like 2 paragraphs long. So in that sense, it didn't feel like overly smutty because they were so short. Yes, they gave you like more graphic detail than usual maybe, but they were pretty short. So it didn't really feel overly, well, hardcore smutty. So I guess if you want to really see what this author is capable of in that sense, you're gonna have to check out one of these other books. Because yeah, I still stand firmly on my opinion that all these other books must be really, really smutty, more smutty than these frilly, cutesy little romance books taking place in Seoul. So that was that, guys. Thank you for sticking with me up until this point. Thank you for being with me on this journey. And I'm going to see you in the next one. Bye!